Right, a very good evening to you, and you're welcome to News Night with me, Annie Fampofu. We're live from the Akua Bohema studio at North Ridge, and we'll bring you updates of stories making rounds in and across the country. Now, let's take a look at the headlines of these stories coming up. Minority caucus in Parliament demands answers from the Ministry of Finance over the release of some 25 million cedis for construction of the National Cathedral. Three suspects and 13 routers granted bail by the Ward Circuit Court for their alleged involvement in the flogging of the two lovers whose nude videos went viral. And in sports, Ghanaian giants Kumasi Asante Kotoko wins 21-2022 Premier League title with 3 games to spare after sharing the spoils with Mbatolo Boise-based Ashanti Gold. And on international front, the Nigerian government bans the sale of bushmeat as a precaution to stop the spread of monkeypox after 6 cases were detected in the country. You're welcome back. The stories now in detail. The Minority Caucus in Parliament is demanding answers from the Ministry of Finance over the release of some 25 million cedis for the construction of the cathedral, which is serving as the seed money. Ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, was addressing the press in Parliament on Thursday, questioned why the said amount wasn't captured in the 2022 budget. We will hear from the North Tongue legislator, but for now, let's take a look at the letter signed by the Finance Ministry. So in the letter it captures, please refer to the letter number. That number is there, and the date is 17th of March 2022 from the Chief of Staff Office of the President and National Cathedral of Ghana's memo dated 28th of March 2022 on the above such subject copied attached. So authority is hereby granted you to release is granted you to release a sum of 25 million Ghana cedis as additional seed money to the National Cathedral Secretariat for the construction of the National Cathedral for part payment of the outstanding claims for the rebate limited. Be affected to the account details below. Name of the bank, CalBank PLC, Bank Branch 23 Independent Avenue, Accra, Ghana, Bank Code 140101, account name, Rebate Limited, account number is there, it's 1400004531148. Swift code is ACCCGHAC. So MMDAs and MDAs are to note that the understated clause is required to be inserted in all contract agreements in order for them to be paid. Now, the total expenditure of 25 million Ghana cedis should be charged as per attached specific warrant signed Ken Ofori-Atta, Finance Minister. So let's now hear from the ranking member of Foreign Affairs Committee, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, in Parliament.
Government has not been able to provide textbooks to basic schools. Capitation grant is in arrears. So if you have all of these challenges, obligations that you are not able to meet, and you are asking everybody to tighten their belts, to bear with you, that there is no money, how is it that you are releasing these fantastic sums, these staggering amounts of money to companies that have not gone through due process so far as the procurement laws are concerned? You don't even have approval from this house to engage in the kind of expenditure that you engage in. God will not be pleased that, first of all, you are building a cathedral based on lies. Not on truth, not on sincerity. Yes. You tell us it's a personal pledge, you are not going to use government resources, and yet you are using government resources. Then, in terms of priority, the good Lord we serve, who is very compassionate, will not be pleased. He will not be happy with the government of Ghana, led by President Akufo-Addo, that in the face of all of this excruciating hardship, in the face of all of this hunger, NAPCO workers, national service personnel, school feeding caterers, road contractors, government contractors generally, owed across the board billions of money. And this is what we are doing with scarce resources. So we want to serve notice today that we are demanding immediate answers from the finance minister.
Via phone by the Deputy Finance Minister, John Kumah, to tell us more on this letter that surfaced on social media and has been, copied by social media houses as well. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us here on Newsnight. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and good evening to all your viewers.
Right, good evening to you. So I'm sure you've seen the letter that's come out. Are you confirming that indeed that was signed by, or has been seen by both the Office of the Chief of Staff and the Finance Ministry? Can you confirm?
Yes, it's a genuine letter. It's a legitimate transaction. There's nothing wrong with it.
So explain what's going on that letter with all that was assigned, to be allocated as seed money for the cathedral. What exactly was happening? Because government, I'm sure what people want to know is that government assured people that the cathedral was not going to be built from the taxpayers' money.
Government never said that. I'm sure people either don't read or don't understand what government said. In the 2018 budget, government said that we were going to build the cathedral. In fact, even in 2022 budget, we announced that it will cost us $200 million to build it. But we expressly stated that we're going to do that in order not to put undue financial burden. We're going to do that jointly in partnership with the Christian community and private individuals who will come on board to support the project. Joint or partnership undertaking doesn't mean that government doesn't have anything in it. And already government has provided land and even pulled down houses in order to have that land available for the project. So where did government say we're not going to put in taxpayers' money? What about the land we have provided? And we announced that we're going to give seed money. And this transaction we are talking about is part of the seed money. And we are raising the rest in partnership with private partners, the Christian community and individuals among. So there is nothing illegitimate about this transaction. We are doing exactly what we said we would do. As for what the NDC are announcing about poor people and arrears in payment, when they were in government, their priority was to pay judgment debt. They used Ghana's money. They paid 51 million cedis to Wayome, who had no contract with government. That's why we didn't have poor people in Ghana. When they were, according to Matiamidu, when judgment debt became business of the day under the NDC government, and they were paying hundreds of millions of dollars to Waterville and Sopoton, didn't we have arrears of teacher training college and they even canceled allowances? Didn't we have the poor people in Ghana? So this kind of populist basis allegations.
But Honorable Minister, just as you're saying that it was, you have made the cathedral a priority to build. You did not say that you're not going to touch public funds or you're not going to use the taxpayers' money. And I'm sure the previous administration will also rebut and tell you that they did not make it a priority to pay judgment debt. Judgment debt comes as a result of illegality, and so sometimes the country suffers it. It doesn't mean that every government will make it or any government will make it a priority.
No, this one, we know the circumstances of that. Have you ever seen any government in Ghana since you were born, or even in our history, where a government officials chase private people to come and collect money from government in the name of judgment debt. This is what happened. This is exactly what we are talking about. Even those without contract, like Woyome, as the court has determined. Okay, so I'm just speaking to facts about things that the court has pronounced on. The court said that they were doing loot and share in order to take government's money. And immediately it was paid. Okay, even where court said they shouldn't pay, they went ahead and paid because that was their priority. And we are saying that our priority is to build a national cathedral in fulfillment of the president's promise in his campaign. If the president came to my village in his campaign and said he'll build a road or a school, a hospital, and he won the election, are we saying that he must build that road or school with his personal pocket money? No. We never said anywhere that the president pledges or promise is going to be done from his personal pocket. We never said that anywhere. It has become part of the government priority, but we will bring down the burden by sharing it with the private sector, especially the Christian community and individuals who are willing to come on board.
I'm sure you've, gotten wind of what the minority's position is on this particular release, that it didn't come to Parliament, neither was it captured in the budget or any indication was given, prior to this. How do you respond to that?
First of all, it's not true that it didn't come to budget or it's not in the budget. And we will hold them to strict proof. As for the NDC and the minority, they always cry foul where there is none. They just want to hold on to straws on issues that are non-existent. We want to challenge them. If they say it's not in the budget, they should file the necessary questions in Parliament, and we'll show them where within the budget the Minister of Finance has the right to do what he has done.
For the purposes of this program, which part of the budget was it captured?
Well, I don't have the budget with me, but we announced it in the budget from 2018, and even in the 2022 budget, we stated that we will need $200 million to complete it, and that will go through the usual partnership arrangement, and even announced a short code about how we're going to raise the money. Yes, everybody in Ghana heard this. Then all of a sudden, they want to tell us we didn't talk about the National Cathedral, it's not in the budget. That's the problem. Either they don't read, or they read and they don't understand, or they pretend not to know that it is in the budget. So we provided for it in the budget. If they want the specifics, they should file it. We are not afraid to provide the details for them in Parliament.
How will you appeal to the sentiments of Ghanaians who also are concerned about, some pertinent issues that government is dealing with as far as finances are concerned, with a lot of our, payments in arrears? We have NATCO, we have National Service, we have school feeding program problems, challenges, free education, some of the priorities, government programs, priorities and all that. How will you appeal to the sentiments of Ghanaians that they should understand that this is indeed a priority, that almost everybody must come on board and understand that if we have committed to do this, we have to do it anyway, anyhow?
Exactly. And the building of the cathedral is not mutually exclusive to payment of free SHS or national NAPCO or NSS or whatever obligations of government. As for the arrears, if you look at the financial structure of a country, there will never be a day or a time that government doesn't owe. So we will pay as and when it's due, and sometimes there are delays and we pay. But the fact that you owe free SHS or you owe NAPCO and you pay, it doesn't mean that you cannot pay for roads or hospitals you are building or the railways that you are building. You do all based on the budget, which has made provisions for each of these financial obligations. Okay, so if we have made payment for National Cathedral, it doesn't mean that we have taken the allocation we made for NAPCO to make that payment. That is not it. So we just have to go through processes to get NAPCO payments also made. And the government has always stayed committed to its financial obligations to all institutions in Ghana. When they were in government, you should ask the minority, the common fund arrears. Sometimes we were in arrears for about 6 quarters under the NDC government. Okay, so there's never a time in our country where we will not be in arrears, because even when you pay off all the arrears, the next due date will be when the quarter has ended, and the governance is in the process. So yes, we plead with those that whose payments have delayed. We just want to assure them that we are aware, And it takes a process. And as we continuously do all the time, payments delay, but yet we get them paid after all due processes have been followed. So we'll continue to fulfill our commitment to all other government obligations.
Well, that's fairly taken, but let me just find out from you, if government is not overstretching its resources too thinly, because we know that even before the beginning of the cathedral, there's been the argument and the debate on structures that were demolished just to make way for the cathedral, and then other challenges that we're faced with. Are we not overstretching resources too thinly?
No, not at all. There are some investments that we must always be happy to see government do, especially infrastructure like this National Cathedral, which will be there for years. And when you look at the revenue projections, in few years to come, whatever money government spent will be recovered in a period of 5 to 10 to 15 years. It will be recovered and it will be just a profit to the nation. Okay, so these are assets, okay, or infrastructure and kind of CAPEX expenditures that when government do, it will always have returns, positive returns to the financial economy of the country. It's also going to serve as a religious tourism, which is going to bring a lot of revenues every year into our country. So compared to the judgment that they wasted money on, this is a very positive investment to make for our country.
Right. Member of Parliament for Asokwa constituency and Deputy Minister for Finance, John Kumah, thank you for your time. The Member of Parliament is also a lawyer as well. Well, let's do some other stories. And the Executive Director of the Center for Democratic Development, Professor Kwesi Prempeh, says it is not wise to invest public funds into the National Cathedral when Ghanaians are faced with myriads of economic challenges. He said it is unfortunate that religion is now being politicized.
Given our history, I think it's probably, I don't have a problem with a position that the state can be involved in religion. My objection to the National Cathedral matter is probably, it's more of a political one. And I think that it's a wisdom question. For me, it's really, when I say it's a political issue, it's really a wisdom question. Is this the proper thing for us to do? Is that the proper thing for us to do? I think you would be hard-pressed to find a democracy today in which the government has taken public money, tax money, to build a cathedral. And the monarchies are not under democracies, because the idea of taking public money, especially tax money, to go and build a cathedral, a religious edifice, in a multi-religious pluralistic society, it's not something that I think will go down well with most citizens in most democracies. Unfortunately, I think we have essentially weaponized, we are beginning to see the political weaponization of religion in our space. And for me, that also is a source of worry. I mean, we are a multi-religious society. I have liked the way in which sometimes we have managed interfaith relations. Beyond that, I think because of the way the world is moving, I mean, more state entanglement with religion and state involvement directly with religious affairs worries me.
The Central Regional Executive elections of the NPP is in limbo after the Cape Coast High Court postponed to June 7 a case involving the Kumfi constituency, NPP, and the Central Regional Election Committee. The party has organized successful elections in all regions, but the Central Region is held on due to the suit. Central Regional Correspondent Akwesiado sat through today's proceedings in court and has the rest of the story.
The level of uncertainty has deepened even as some aspirants continue to campaign in the region. Kumfi still holds the entire region to ransom. They demand for the constituency's executives election to be held, or there will be no regional executives election. An injunction application they filed at the court restrained the party from holding the regional executives election last weekend. The Cape Coast High Court A on June 2, 2022 further adjourned hearing to Tuesday, June 7, 2022. According to Atta Dadzi, lawyer for the defendant, 2 processes were filed at the court earlier, being the supplementary application in pursuit of the injunction and the process of application to join NPP as a party for which they were not served, hence the decision to call for postponement of the matter to address these challenges. He spoke to Metro News.
When we came to court, we realized that 2 processes had been filed. One was a supplementary affidavit in pursuant of the injunction application, and which we had not been served. Another was also another process, application to join the NPP as a party, which we had also not been served. So we drew the court's attention. Apparently, on the issue of the joinder of NPP as a party, we prayed the court and waived service of that process.
The Ekumfi NPP, on the other hand, is praying the court will rule in their favor to allow them have their election. An aggrieved member of the party in Ekumfi constituency, Samuel Kuntutechi, says 17 executives who would be elected in Ekumfi is a significant number that can have an impact on the regional elections. He added that the constituency had a candidate in the regional election whose chances may suffer gravely without them.
What we are seeking and praying the court to do is to let the elections committee of our party to let them conduct our elections before the regional elections come up. Because per our constitution, more than one-third quorum can be formed to do the regional conference. But in the case of Ekumfi, per the NPP constitution, there was no natural disaster, there was no flooding. That could make us not be part of the decision making.
Now, Metro News is gathering information that Ekumfi would have its constituency executives elections held tomorrow, June 3, 2022, at Ekumfi in Krofu, and that would be followed by the regional elections at Dunkwao Onofing on Saturday. The former MC for the Owutu Senya East Municipality, Michael Mensah, has been commissioned by the party to supervise the Ekumfi elections, and Michael Mensah joins us for more on this. Michael, thank you for your time. Good evening to you.
Good evening, and thank you also for having me.
All right, so has the court sanctioned what you are about doing?
Thank you very much, my dear, and a very good evening to our cherished viewers and listeners. I would want to put it straight and emphatically that the exercise as a Ekumfi has not been injuncted, and so we didn't need the clearance from the courts. We only needed a clearance from the party, which we have had. And so, for that matter, tomorrow we are having the elections at Ekumfi.
Okay, so for purposes of clarity, which one was injuncted?
It is the regional elections that was injuncted, and the reason for the injunction was that Ekumfi was being left out. They were being disenfranchised because they had issues that were with ADR, and the party had not yet made pronouncement on it, and we were going ahead with the regional elections, and so they sought injunction from the courts. And the court hearing has been adjourned to Tuesday, but the party in its own wisdom has finished with the processes of ADR, and in the process they asked the embattled chairman aspirant to render an unqualified apology, which he has done, and so the party is satisfied with the situation.
But you have also planned to run the region, one on the regional level after that of the constituency. Is that not so?
Yes.
And has that been cleared by the courts?
With all due respect, my sister, I'm unable to speak to that because that should be coming from the National Party, which issued a statement to that effect. I am concerned about or with the Ekumfi one, which has nothing to do with court injunction, please.
The Konfi one, I know some of your executives proceeded to court because, I mean, the regional one, they proceeded to court because they claim the Konfi one has not been run yet, and so they didn't think that the regional level would be legal once the constituency one was on hold. And so, don't you think that the regional level one that's been injuncted has a bearing on the one on at the constituency level?
Well, if you put it so, I wouldn't fault you, but the issue here is that the constitution or the party regulations mandates the region to go, ahead with any conference, provided they can have 1/3 of the delegates participating. And so if you have a Konfi as a single constituency in the region not partaking, it wasn't going to be an issue. But once somebody has gone to court, seeking that, okay, it is going on at a time that we have issues with ADR at the party headquarters, and it has not been concluded. What that means is that we may be disenfranchised from partaking in the regional elections. And that is why the court hasn't given or granted the injunction yet. It has set dates for hearing. We went for hearing today. It has been adjourned to Tuesday. However, the ADR processes, requested or demanded of an activity from the embattled candidate at Konfi, which he has duly delivered. And so the party thinks that the Konfi is cleared, and so we can have Konfi tomorrow.
I thank you for speaking to us, MCE, and we'll follow up with you on your activities. Thank you.
Thank you, too.
Right, so let's do some more stories. And the Wa Circuit Court, presided over by His Honor Jonathan Avogo, has granted bail to all the 3 persons suspected to have been involved in the flogging of the 2 lovers whose nude videos went viral on social media. The court also ordered the release of some 13 others who were alleged to be among some rampaging youth group that besieged the Upper West Regional Police headquarters. The release of the suspects has brought uneasy calm to Wa in the Upper West region. 2 batches of suspects were arrested. The first batch is the 3 suspects in connection with the flogging. The second batch is the routers. Now, the court has granted the 3 suspects bail with 5 sureties and a cash amount of 3,000 Ghana cedis. With regards to the routers, after profiling them, the number reduced to 13. So they were put before the courts and they were granted bail within sureties and a sum of 3,000 Ghana cedis. All of them are set to reappear in court on Monday, June 13, 2022. You're still watching News Tonight with me and your phone. We'll go for a breather. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to News Tonight here on Metro TV. Let's go to Parliament. And the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Simane Babing, has constituted a 6-member bipartisan committee to probe the circumstances leading to the death of Madame Augustina Awotri. Augustina died in an ambulance when she was being transported from the Holy Child Catholic Hospital at Fijai in the Western region to Korle Bu Teaching Hospital on the 4th of January 2022.
The ambulance crew demanded 600 Ghana cedis from the husband of the deceased. The Speaker, he struggled to give them 50 Ghana cedis and promised them that he was going to arrange or he was going to organize the money for them upon arrival at Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. The Speaker, the ambulance crew then returned. They got back to Holy Child Hospital. The Speaker, when they arrived at Holy Child Hospital, the ambulance crew and the hospital staff were engaged in an argument where the patient was still lying in the ambulance for hours, about 3 hours. The Speaker, after the long argument, they then started the journey again. The Speaker, on arriving at Cape Coast, the patient was pronounced dead. The Speaker, we need to know whether indeed the ambulance crew demanded
600 Ghana cedis from the patients. The Speaker, per the provisions and allocations we do in this house, ambulance crew, they are not supposed to demand any money from any patient before rendering their services.
So, Mr. Speaker, if you've gone through some of this pain and people are narrating this incident, as a house, we cannot continue to just say that, oh, let's leave it to the hospital to investigate. Let's leave it to the Ministry of Health to investigate. The time for us to begin to do many more public hearing on activities around our country is now. Then people begin to see that when you are reckless in your corner, there will be an opportunity for Parliament to put you before the camera and the whole world seeing and you answering, Mr. Speaker, for lack of better word, how stupid you were on the line of your duty.
No woman being used by God to keep the well going should die through that. No woman should do that. And that is one of the reasons why I say I'm against the taxation that is being imposed on sanitary pads. Those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. This House has accordingly constituted a bipartisan committee to probe the circumstances leading to the death of Madam Agostina Awoche.
Now, the former Member of Parliament for Goma West constituency, Alexander Aban, has bemoaned the continuous reduction in the quality of people elected to be members of Parliament in Ghana. According to him, the situation has been occasioned by the monetization of politics in the country. If not addressed, will escalate to a point where the country will have drug barons in the legislature.
From 1993 to date, the quality of debate, the depth of knowledge that is exhibited is reducing over the years, and you realize that now it is not about the quality of what you stand for, it's not about the sense that you make, it's more about the money that you distribute. And so year in, year out, the payouts are becoming bigger and bigger. And so you see that now people equate your path to Parliament with how much money you are able to give. And that is the danger. Ordinarily, people should be assessed by what they say and how they communicate it. That's when you say that, oh, this man has the temperament to do this work. And
Now, convener for Fixing the Country, Ernest Owusu Bempah, has condemned the hashtag Fix the Country's intended armed demonstration. The group says it will do all it can to prevent any action by hashtag Fix the Country campaigners that will destabilize the peace of Ghana.
To those people who have ulterior motive and are still out of impunity, want to move to the broadcasting house, want to move to the Jubilee House, want to move to any part of a state institution to take the laws into their own hands, we, the law-abiding youth of this country, are red alert on red alert, and we will meet them squarely if they dare make any move. We will meet them squarely if they dare make any move.
The convener for Fixing the Country, Ernest Owusu Bempah, was speaking in a response to the intended demonstration by Fix the Country on June 4th to occupy key institutions with their weapons. According to him, although the movement recognizes the importance of the constitutionally protected right to assemble and protest, Fixing the Country movement abhors and rejects the act that perpetrates systemic violence and undermining the institutions of the state.
Regardless of our political parties, point of view, or where you stand politically, to condemn this irresponsible behavior and to uphold, protect, and defend our homeland, Ghana. Oliver Barker-Vormawor and company or group of gangsters need to be told in plain language or plain word that their conduct warrant psychiatric evaluation.
Condemning the pressure group Fix the Country, Ernesto Subempa called on the police to take action against any unforeseen eventualities.
We are calling on civil society organizations, the clergy, the security agencies, and anybody who matters in Ghana to condemn this barbaric action or condemn this motive of this group of people, their actions. And we are giving the Inspector General of Police at least 1 week to arrest these nation wreckers and bring them to swift justice, that because we are in a democratic state, and deal with them according to the laws of this country.
You're watching News Tonight here on Metro TV. Let's go for another break. You're welcome back to News Now. Let's use some more stories. And some Ghanaians have expressed anger over projections that the price of petrol is expected to go up significantly. According to the bulk oil distributors, petrol will be going up by about more than 7% per litre. Shadrach Odamiajari has been speaking to some aggrieved Ghanaians.
The constant surge in fuel prices has in recent times left lots of tongues wagging, as it has eventually caused the rise in transport fares and astronomical increase in prices of goods and services. Just when the citizenry are getting over the recent transport fare increment, some energy think tanks have predicted that the price of petrol is expected to increase by some 7%. This, drivers in the capital have explained, will grind their businesses to a halt.
We all
park our vehicles and resort to walking.
I
still owe the filling station some 100 cedis.
The way they increase the petrol, the same drivers, we talk to ourselves, which will make our own price. But you see the last time when you come in, see the people talk about the lorry fare. Hey, the lorry fare is too cost, it's too cost. But not think about the petrol. No, but not only petrol we are using. We are using petrol, spare parts, brake food, everything. Oil now, every oil increase. Brake food, increase everything.
The increase in fuel prices will affect our works and livelihoods. How do we cater for our families with a profit of 20 cedis per day?
For Simon Adbeti Afa, a retired teacher turned driver, and Francis Boachi, a father of 3, one is better off not working as a driver in these hard times of skyrocketing hikes.
The petrol increase, when you say it is Cooper, the government is not in charge, it's not the one in charge of the detail. It is a lie. Whatever happens in the country, in the economy, the government is aware. What about the tax margin that he takes? This morning I was thinking, what do I come here to do? It's better I stay home. It's better I stay home. Because I come here with the man of at least getting something at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it said I'm even wasting my time, energy, and everything.
You'll be seeing drivers changing cars. It's not about the drivers are lazy, no. Because you can't keep the money whilst your family are hungry. So you chop the car owner's money. You chop the money. So at times, but most of the times, which helps is we do the weekly sales. So maybe if today is not good, maybe tomorrow, yes, then it goes. But my brother, it's not easy. So if they say they still want to increase, they should go ahead. Maybe they want us to bring our balls to their houses, especially those people that they say they're going to increase, so that we come for our daily meal. Maybe they'll take care of us.
Just when our conversation was ongoing, this woman in a green dress, who has been sitting in the taxi for long, decided to leave as there were no passengers to fill the empty vehicles. Now that these drivers are hinting of halting their operations to drum home their concerns, will authorities heed to their call of a reduction in prices of petroleum, or commuters will soon be left at the mercy of rains and the scorching sun during trekking? Shadrach Odami Ejari, Metro News, Accra.
Now, also in business, the latest research conducted by the National Insurance Commission has shown that the confidence of Ghanaians in insurance is on the rise. So the Commission in the Perception Index survey included that about 78% of respondents sampled have knowledge about insurance in Ghana.
According to the survey, 16% of respondents have some knowledge about insurance, while 6% do not have an idea what insurance is. The survey, which was conducted by the insurance regulator, showed a knowledge index of 0.5132, which is lower compared to 2020 average of 0.5392, representing a 2.6% change. The Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Justice Ofori, mentioned that the increase in knowledge of insurance is as a result of public sensitization and regional representation of the Commission.
We decided to expand our tentacles. Initially, we were operating in only 4 regions, but now we've actually expanded to the previous 10 regions. We have also been engaging the the Ghana Insurance College to train 10,000 insurance agents nationwide in all the previous 10 regions. We believe that the more the likelihood of people understanding insurance and seeing the importance of insurance and thereby buying insurance. We've also introduced the software for selling motor insurance in Ghana called the MID, Motor Insurance Database. If you're a passenger traveling, before you even buy a ticket, you can actually text the vehicle license plate with a short code, *920*57# and follow the prompts, and it will give you information as to whether the vehicle that you are going to board has genuine insurance or not.
The Commissioner also admonished every working Ghanaian to have at least a life insurance to protect them against uncertainties such as death.
Even if you don't have physical assets and you have substantial life insurance, it takes care of everything. My advice is that since death is inevitable, everyone should have some kind of life insurance to protect his or her dependents. If you buy life insurance, don't just buy any amount. You need to buy, you look at the age of your dependents to determine how much life insurance you need. You need to buy substantive life insurance that will take care of your dependents until the age of maturity, when they can actually fend for themselves.
The recommendation stated that it will support NIC's ongoing intervention programs to shore up public confidence, awareness and confidence of insurance in Ghana post-COVID-19.
You're still on Newsnight with us here at Metro TV. It's time for sports and subsequently entertainment news. We'll be back shortly.
For sports, my name is Fayo John Quartier. Asante Kotoko clinched the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League title in Obuasi after drawing 1-1 with Ash Gold in an exciting match played at Lenkley Sports Stadium. Maxwell Jiman got the all-important equalizer for the Reds for the victory.
Great, wonderful. First season with a greater number of players who are new players in the club. They've never tasted Premiership before, but then we have come, we have led, we have cared, we have inspired, and we have conquered. I think we didn't start well, and I saw it from our warm-up. They weren't their usual self when we are going for a warm-up. They looked slow, and I think that actually affected us in the start of the game. Actually, it wasn't one of the best days at the office with respect to our performance today. The defensive line didn't look that organized. They looked slow. There were a lot of spaces between them, which wasn't the best. It gave Ashgold the opportunity to exploit those spaces. But then, I think the second half, we came back, we looked better. We got one free kick, and that was it. We needed just the point to get the trophy.
That's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarty. Harriet is standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you, Johnny. It's time for entertainment. Now, former member of SM for Life militant group Adicel has bemoaned the lack of support from the industry. According to him, key players in the music industry have favorites that they support. He disclosed this earlier today on Entertainment Review.
Well, I've always been happy with what I'm doing because this is what I do best and this is what I'm happy and enjoy doing since from school days, you understand?
Yeah.
From I was nobody till, you know,
yes.
and through the same way that people get to know me. So I believe there's fruit at the end, there's light at the end of the tunnel. That's why I keep pushing. Even though I don't get support from the industry like I'm supposed to, I'm still pushing with my fans. It be fact, the people who follow me knows how much I put in works and sometimes I try to submit my works at a couple of nominations, I don't get them. I try to, you know, push my music out there. I don't get the full support, like, you get me, like the energy I want. But, you know, I have people around me who believe in the dream and my fans are also following. Like I said, Self Nation is all about believing in yourself. You get me? So, yeah, I don't need approval. In this industry, they do favoritism. When you look, there are artists that, you know, get a couple of, you know, push from the industry.
Well, that's all for entertainment news on Newsnight. My name is Harriet Adi. Annie.
Thank you so much for the entertainment news. Let's now do international stories. And now on international front, the Nigerian government has banned the sale of bush meat as a precaution to stop the spread of monkeypox. 6 cases have been detected in the country this month, bringing to 21 the number of confirmed infections this year, the authorities have said. Experts say it is possible that the virus can be caught by eating meat from an infected animal, but this is not the most common transmission route. Monkeypox, a mild viral infection, is endemic in Nigeria, and it occurs mostly in the remote areas near tropical rainforest. Now, the country has had sporadic cases since the outbreak in 2017. The virus was found mainly in the south of the country, but since 2020, it has spread to the central part, the eastern part, and the northern areas. The World Health Organization says out of 21 confirmed cases this year, there has been 1 reported death of a person who had underlying conditions. But earlier this week, the health authorities said there has been no evidence of any new or unusual transmission of the virus, nor changes in its clinical manifestation documented. And that's all we have for you this evening. Newsnight came to you live from the Akua Boahima studio. My name is Ania Frompofa. Thank you for joining us, and join us again on Good Evening Ghana. Thanks for watching.